Welcome to Backstage Pass on the Boise Beat. I'm your host, Gordie Tamayo, and today we're diving into Juneteenth, a celebration rich in history and culture. Joining me are three key figures behind Idaho's Juneteenth celebrations. We have Claire, the lead organizer for Juneteenth Idaho, who has been pivotal in raising awareness and organizing events. Shaun Brazell, the host of Juneteenth Idaho Awards Show, the first of its kind. And Rick Oliver. He is the founder of RIX Entertainment and one of the committee members of Juneteenth Idaho. They will be sharing with us behind the scenes look at the event's planning and the entertainment lineup. We'll explore Juneteenth's significance, the efforts behind the celebrations, and how they bring our community together. Hey, what's happening, Claire, Shaun? How you guys doing today?
Hi.
Always great. Always great.
Yeah,
What's up, man?
this is the time of the year where Juneteenth is getting a lot of talk, and both of you guys have been known for being in the scene for a minute. Shaun, I know you go way back into this scene, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I want to talk for listeners that don't know. It'd be hard to say people that don't know right now, but sometimes people don't know their history. So I want to give a quick recap, a little history lesson, if you could. Claire, let me start off with you. Could you share with listeners a little bit about what Juneteenth is and what it's about?
So Juneteenth became a federal holiday in 2021. President Joe Biden declared it a federal holiday, but it is something that has been celebrated among Black folks since 1865. So, as we all know, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves with the Emancipation Proclamation, but it was almost 18 months later that all
Right.
the slaves were free. And the last slaves to be freed were the slaves in Galveston, Texas. And then when they were freed on June 19th, 1865, they had a celebration called Juneteenth. And ever since then, it's been celebrated all over the country in backyard barbecues and potlucks and celebrations like ours. And then it became a federal holiday a couple of years ago. So yeah, that's the overview history of Juneteenth.
Shaun, give me your take on the evolution of Juneteenth over the years in Idaho, since you've been around for a minute, right? And
Yeah,
celebrations that had taken place in Mountain Home. Now we're seeing this jump start over here in Boise. Talk to me about the progression, the growth, the changes over the years for Juneteenth.
absolutely. Once again, Mountain Home, I feel, is like the original launching point for Juneteenth events. Definitely back in the early 90s, 90, 91, 92. Uh, Mountain Home was very influential in bringing Juneteenth into the spotlight. It was not something that was necessarily celebrated, but definitely in the early 90s, once again, special shout out to Mayor Joe B. McNeil, who was the first Black mayor in the state of Idaho, was able to work with the Black History Committee as well as members from Mountain Home Air Force Base. And they were really the ones that kind of launched the celebratory events of Juneteenth. It definitely has grown and expanded, and now we're at Juneteenth, Idaho. So Boise is the host, and they're doing an amazing job. I'm really looking forward to all of the upcoming events. Each year, it just gets better and better and better. Honestly, even besides the Juneteenth, Idaho events that are happening, Mountain Home is still currently celebrating Juneteenth as well. So we have a big bash out here in Mountain Home to celebrate on Saturday. But most of all, I'm excited about Juneteenth, Idaho Juneteenth, however you all are calling it.
Hmm.
I think that each year, with every new person that joins the team or becomes one of the coordinators, it just gets better. It just gets more inclusive and more educational for those who don't understand Juneteenth and why it's a holiday and why we celebrate it. But kudos to all of those who are involved at this time for continuing on the legacy and adding a little bit more flavor to our beautiful state of Idaho.
Absolutely.
And in
You know,
case my comment got edited out a little bit earlier because of the Wi-Fi, I did definitely say that Mountain Home is the greatest city in the state of Idaho. and I love you Boiseans, but I just wanted to make sure, that didn't get edited out.
It's there. It's on
Well, you
wax.
lived here for a while too, Shaun. Don't forget.
It's my hometown, man. It,
Right
it, it
on.
creates greatness. It creates greatness.
Right on.
Hey, Rick. Well, I got you
Yes.
here now. Talk to me,
Yes.
if you would, about what's the cultural significance for you for Juneteenth?
So there's a lot of there's more diversity here than it used to be. I moved to Boise in '98, moved to Idaho in '96, and to be perfectly honest with you, coming from New York, I didn't know much about Juneteenth. And again, there wasn't a lot of diversity here in Boise. But over the years, I've seen it grow so much. They do something that we call the Soul Food Festival that
Hmm.
I was involved in. Let's go back maybe 20 years, somewhere around there.
Hmm.
Um, and that was a big celebration. If I remember correctly, I think Juneteenth was celebrated along the same time as that, and it's usually in June.
And
So
Shaun, I believe Shaun was also like one of the first performers on that, weren't you, Shaun?
I
yeah,
was in a boy band,
Go ahead. You can give the
but
plug,
yes,
Sean. It's okay.
absolutely, I did.
yeah,
Sean's been. I told you, Shaun is the godfather of Juneteenth. He has been involved with it since the '90s. I inherited it, and I had to do a lot of community work to even get in connection with him. I had to prove myself that my heart was in the right place so I could get him to work with me.
Well,
Well,
I was the manager of that boy band, and we did a lot of events for the community. And it was an R&B soul band, so it was three uh, young black men, and that first show that we did was amazing. And we went around town performing a lot. We've been to New York receiving awards, and Shaun and I've been working together a lot. So when this event came up, I talked to Claire a little bit and see what she needed, and we kind of put this thing together, this award show together for Friday night at the Sapphire Room, and I knew I needed someone of caliber to MC the event, and like I said before, Shaun and I have been doing this for over 2 decades, so he's the right person for the job. Uh, Things should be great on Friday night.
yeah. Well, good segue in here to that. Friday night we have an award show taking place for Juneteenth, and Shaun, you happen to be the host with the most, as usual, for that event, right? Talk to me about what that is going to look like, and what can people expect from coming in and attending that.
So I'm really excited. I've actually just started seeing some of those individuals who have been nominated for awards, and the nominees are just amazing, most deserving. I'm really excited for them. I'm really excited that we can promote one another and showcase one another and celebrate one another. For me, I was totally shocked and humbled to even be invited to be the host for this event. But anytime um, I'm a part of an event, I try to make sure that it's probably the best event of the year. You know what I mean? Whether even if it's just simply hosting an event. Usually I would be singing at an event. I'm grateful I don't have to perform at this event, but I'm very, very honored to be even passing out awards or naming off the nominees. Like it's going to be really special. So the fact that this year I believe is the first year they've had any kind of award ceremony for Juneteenth, that's just stellar. That's just amazing. And kudos to the new team that came in and said, hey, not only do we want to celebrate this amazing event, but let's celebrate some people in our community who have been doing great things over the last couple years or whatsoever. And it's an awesome opportunity to be a part of. And so
Yeah.
kudos to all of those who have been nominated. I hope you win. I hope you get your awards. I think those who have posted about it kind of know that they're going to get an award. And so I'm excited for each and every one of the recipients this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cool addition, to be able to recognize people in the community for various things. And is it Claire or Rick, anybody that's been a part of that planning process, is it a broad spectrum of industries and backgrounds, et cetera, personalities that are nominated, or how does that work?
I'll give that to you, Claire.
First and foremost, Juneteenth Idaho is a community organization, and we had been listening to the voice of the community, and a lot of people have been coming to us over the last year and saying that they just felt like there were a lot of people doing work in the community that weren't getting recognized. And we know that there are tons of people in the community that aren't getting recognized. And I think we're going to start with 8 and then slowly add some more people. But we all sat together and we said, like, who are some people that we are not the usual suspects, who aren't getting those awards? And so what can we give them an award for? So we just really thought of some people that we knew, that were doing work in the community, and we wanted to acknowledge them first and foremost. So that's really how that came about. This is the first year that we've done the award, and I think we have 2 awards that we're naming after Black historical figures here in Boise. So we have the York Trailblazer Award. York was the first Black man to set foot on the territory that was in the state of Idaho. He was a slave on the Lewis and Clark expedition, but he was also an amazing explorer, a trapper, a hunter, a fisherman, and they wouldn't have survived without him. So we have the York Trailblazer Award. And then we also have an award based off of the Mason Lodge, who were the first people to fund the Juneteenth Award. So we're doing some things like that. It is really tricky because Idaho's Black community is so small. So it's so much of like doing something, and then a whole bunch of people say, well, actually it's this and this and this. And then as we do things, we learn more about the community, we learn more about who those players are, and then just bring people in. So it's been slow community building, but I think as an organization, Juneteenth Idaho has shown up for a few years now, and we've shown that our heart's in the right place. We try to make our events super affordable. We offer free tickets. We offer free food. We try to make it really accessible and safe to Black folks, and we really just try to make something for the community. And that's what we're doing with this award show, and we're so honored to have Shaun be a part of it with us, because he is for sure a local celebrity.
How has the local community responded, would you say, over the years to the organization of Juneteenth Idaho and the events that are getting pieced together? What's been the response?
And I think overall the community has just been super welcoming. Everyone comes to our events. We've had feedback about things that we can change, and we always listen. But I think overall it's been really, really good. We're still trying to find our identity about what our event looks like and trying to create things that really our community wants. So hopefully everything's been really good, but maybe Shaun and Rick can tell you more about what the streets are saying about us, and not just the comments that I get, in our comment cards.
I think that's a question for you, Rick. What are the streets saying? What are the streets saying about Juneteenth Idaho?
Everyone's excited. Everyone's excited. Everyone's excited about this award show. It's something that hasn't happened before. I'm excited. So the streets are talking. They're not talking as loud as I want them to, but they're talking, and everybody's excited about this year's Juneteenth celebration.
As a kind of final round the robin recap, if you could you each give me something that Juneteenth does to you or speaks to you? What's the significance or the impact that commemorating Juneteenth and being a part of an organization that is putting this on the radar for people to be educated about, to celebrate with, and to commemorate? What does it mean to you? Claire, let's start with you.
I think in terms of Juneteenth, the 3 big pillars for me are collaboration, community, and celebration. And for me, Juneteenth really just is about getting with Black folks, celebrating Black businesses, Black artists, Black organizers, Black performers, just celebrating the wonderful, diverse culture that we have here in Boise. Because the fact is we've been here since the founding of Idaho, and it's important that we're celebrated. We have wonderful, diverse culture that we can, as Shaun said earlier, add spice and some flavor to Boise. And so, I'm just so glad to have that. That's what it means to me.
For me, it means camaraderie and celebration, as Claire said. I'm really looking forward to this because I get to see some of my people. Everyone's my people, but I get to see other Black folks, and we get to talk about, things going on in the Black communities. So it means I'm excited, and it means a lot to me to have these types of celebrations.
Freedom!
Get it.
Freedom! No. Serious note. Honestly, I'm very excited about Juneteenth because it's a constant reminder of history. And so the more that we are able to keep our history alive and keep our history flourishing, then the next generations that come after us will respect the struggle that has had to happen to get to where they are, to get to enjoy the freedoms that they get to enjoy. There's a lot of things that, though you go to school, schools aren't going to teach you everything. And I don't know how many schools in Idaho are teaching in detail about Juneteenth, but the fact that we have a whole week of events, the fact that we have an award show, the fact that we have, all of these concerts and celebratory events, people are able to, one, as Rick said, learn about Juneteenth if they've never been really associated with it, or they can refresh their memory of Juneteenth, or they can learn brand new things. Each and every year, we're learning new things that deal with Juneteenth, deal with the celebration, deal with Idaho, and people of color here in Idaho. So each moment is just a learning experience, and the more that we can have these to not only engage with the community but to inform the community, I think it's very necessary and very needed, especially with the upcoming generations. Some folks will say, of course Juneteenth, I've been celebrating Juneteenth for the last 30 years. But then there's other people that'll see the poster and be like, what the heck is Juneteenth? And why are you guys having an award show? And why is there a celebration? So the more that we are able to inform people and educate people, so that they have the knowledge to be able to celebrate in their own way, I think that's amazing. So that's
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
that's, that's wonderful.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
Yeah.
Nobody. That was really well said, Shaun.
Yeah, it was. You took the words right out of my mouth.
It's been a pleasure speaking with all of you, Claire, Shaun, Rick. Thank you so much for joining me. We're definitely going to put, links to everything within the show description here. So make sure you check it out and capture everything that's happening for Juneteenth coming up, kickstarting with an award show this Friday. You don't want to miss it. So thank you so much
Hey,
again,
and
guys,
shout
for
out
joining
to
me.
the host, Gordie. I don't know if y'all been following Gordie, but Gordie is like, Gordie goes back just as far as I go back. Like, Gordie and I
Oh,
started off in this game together. So he's no small fry. He's not nothing to just overlook. Like, kudos to you and your podcast. Thank you
Thank you,
for allowing
Gordie.
us to be on this platform. But you've been doing stuff for decades too. So kudos and flowers to you, King.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Gordie.
Thank you, Gordo.
I
thanks
appreciate
for
that.
having us.
Yeah,
got it.
thank you so much.
No
Talk to
problem.
you soon.
You got it. For everybody
Thank
else
you.
that's tuning
Bye.
in, you just
Take care.
tuned in to Backstage Pass on the Boise Beat. I'm your host, Gordie Tamayo. Until next time.